Here they are, the Bulls and Bears this week. Gary B. Smith, Tracy Burns, Jonas Max Ferris, John Layfield, along with David Mercer. Welcome to everybody. Okay, so Gary B., will maximizing the minimum wage minimize or maximize our job growth?
Well, Brenda, it's going to kill job growth, especially when you get right down to it, what the minimum wage does. It discriminates against less skilled workers. It's plain and simple. New York in 2004 to 2006 raised their minimum wage from about $5.15 to $6.75. They saw a 20% increase in unemployment against lesser skilled workers. In 2007, before the recession started, unemployment amongst young black teenagers, I want to get the figure right, was about 29%. Now, after all the stimulus and what we've done, it's now 40%. So it's clearly it works against these workers. And, the argument that the left makes is, well, these businesses can't afford it. First of all, most small businesses, Brenda, can't afford to pay more. But even if they could, it sounds like, wow, it's this magic. But even if you're Walmart, they say, well, they can afford it. I'd like the left to know what happens with those earnings that go out as, extra wages. Those earnings are retained as profits. So Walmart, Sears, whatever, can build businesses and hire more people. They have less profits to do that. They can't expand their business. It also hurts unemployment.
All right.
It's horrible.
David, I think he's talking right to you. What do you have to say back?
Well, I'll say that with all-time profits now being experienced by corporations, it's about time after 4 years that workers get a fair share of that. And I think in doing so, you also help the economy by giving them more affordable wages to have more economic security. That puts in more buying power and increases demand that overall increases growth in the economy, leading to other hiring. So in that instance, I think it's about time that we raise the minimum wage.
John, does this just ignore supply and demand in the job market?
Yeah, it does ignore supply and demand completely. Look, I love the argument here that these companies are making so much money. How dare they make so much money? And I love the jobs plan. You got companies who have a lot of cash on balance sheets. So the jobs plan of the administration is, we want you to take that cash and hire people you don't need. Look, the minimum wage affects only about 2.9% of workers. And understand, the average family that has a minimum wage worker, it makes $53,000 per year. People are in poverty because they don't have jobs. People are not in poverty because they're making minimum wage.
And talking about jobs, Tracy, the job creators, small business, Gary mentioned this. Are they the ones who are going to get hit hardest by this?
Absolutely. I mean, you raise the minimum wage, they can't afford the extra dishwasher in the kitchen. And why should they? When they can have family members do it, it hurts the entry-level jobs. It's going to hurt our teenagers. Quite frankly, Brenda, though, the goal in life is not to be on minimum wage forever. I think people forget this. That's your entry. Your goal is to do a great job and get promoted and move out of it. So this notion that we're going to keep raising it just to share the wealth, because, well, we're almost socialists anyway at this point, is ridiculous.
Okay, Jonas, unions are really pushing this. Why do you think that is?
Because they're losing members that are way above the minimum wage, and they need to get a whole new group of people, and that's minimum wage workers who work at fast food restaurants. But that's a side story. There should be a correlation between raising the minimum wage and higher unemployment, because it makes sense. You're raising the cost of labor, you're going to demand less. But believe me, there's none. I mean, I've looked for it. People have looked for it. Some states have higher minimum wages. Washington State's got a much higher minimum wage than the federal level, and they're in the top half of countries with states with low unemployment. Georgia's got their own state wages lower than the minimum wage, and they've got really high unemployment. So it's really hard to say, it blatantly causes unemployment. It should, but maybe it's because it's lower than a level that would cause. There's definitely a level you could set it at that would cause massive unemployment, but we've had a higher level in the past adjusting for inflation. We're not there yet. I don't know why Democrats, when they were in power, didn't index it to inflation to get this debate gone, but they use it as a political tool to win elections because it looks like they're doing something for the working man, because they could have solved this problem like Social Security a long time ago by indexing this to inflation.
Okay, Gary B., you've been shaking your head.
Well, first of all, I just gave Jonas an example. You have to look on a state-by-state basis. It's very difficult to compare minimum wage across the states or across the country because, as Jonas alludes to, every locale is different. But you can look at, as I said, New York State. Second to David David's point, he said, you know, again, I want to come back to the point. If it's a Walmart, for example, he thinks, well, Walmart has enough money to pay their employees more. Look, maybe they do, but the fact is Walmart takes those earnings that they have and they open more stores. I don't know what an average Walmart store employs. Maybe it employs 1,000 workers. If they have less earnings because they're paying all their people more, they can't open that store, and then they can't employ another 1,000 workers.
And in fact,
then
David,
cut the CEO pay. Cut the CEO pay and give workers more money.
Pay is going to pay for all the minimum wage for the 200,000 Walmart people?
Starbucks is opening up stores, and they're in favor of raising the minimum wage.
David, it's none of your business what Walmart does with its money. It is
I'm not saying it is my business, but we're talking the news here, so it is my business to talk
Walmart
about.
has the choice to do whatever it wants with its money, and it will have people
And they can,
come.
and competitively, if they, look, if the minimum wage is raised, that's for everybody. That means it's an equal playing field.
No, it's not.
McDonald's has to pay a minimum wage just like any other hamburger maker, and so that is the case.
Okay, John.
With the federal minimum wage.
No, it's not. It's not an equal playing field. Look, this is a populist message. This is nothing but political malarkey going out there. This is saying, hey, look, we're trying to help the small guy. You're not trying to help the small guy.
Not to the person receiving a minimum wage. It's not political. It means
Dave,
income.
Okay.
Please let me finish, Dave. Walmart. Take Walmart in Gary B's own hometown of Washington, D.C. They passed the Walmart rule, 75,000 square feet or more. That only affects Walmart. You have to pay your employees $12.50 an hour, 50% higher than all of your competitors. What did Walmart do? They did a smart thing. They said, we're just not going to open up any stores.
Exactly.
Walmart has lowered food inflation by 1 percentage point. That helps the poor. They don't get that in D.C. because of this political BS.
David?
Well, I'll just say Walmart can find its market somewhere else because the wage that they
took jobs away from
but
DC.
the job that they're offering at the wage they're offering means you have to have 2 jobs when you work for Walmart.
But David, they had people lining up for those jobs. At every Walmart they've opened, people have lined up for the jobs. If the jobs were so horrible, people would say, you know what, I'm going to go elsewhere and look for the job.
And let Walmart do it. As we all said, it's Walmart's business. Let them do what they want. DC's not having it.
Look, this isn't about Walmart, but they're paying people higher than their competitors as it is right now.
But they're cutting their nose to spite their face. They're saying, you know what, Walmart, if you don't pay, then Walmart says, well, I'm not going to provide 1,000 or 2,000 new jobs. Is that what you want?
Well, there'll be others that come in that see it as a viable market.
Brenda, too, this is a small business story, too. Like, these are the creators of the jobs in our country. We're looking to these people to give opportunity out there. And you know what? If you're going to raise the minimum wage to like $10, that's almost not worth it for me to hire the dishwasher in the back. It's
that's
not
a
worth
living
$10
wage instead of a poverty wage.
It's not worth it for me. You have to remember that. So then there goes another job. It just makes no sense.
Well, and Jonas, does it also stifle other startup businesses from getting into the business and hiring other workers? I
just don't think a lot of startup businesses are hiring minimum wage worker in this economy. There's definitely, there's a level that would hurt the economy, but there's something going on here also, which is that the government already redistributes wealth to lower income people. And this is sort of mandating that a company does it with their essentially excess profits, that they would pay an above market rate for the same labor. However, if we did that, and it also lower the earned income credit and food stamps and all this other stuff that lets people artificially pay people a low wage because they're being subsidized with housing and everything else by the government, it could actually balance out.
I'm sorry, Jonas, we got to pay our bills, but you guys all earned your salary with that one. Thank you.